Today we're going to look at the word gender. And this word for me is consisting of letters. And within this word, I can see two sounds, gen and der. So gen for me is sounds gene, and then there is the direction that we are directing our genes to express us. And in my life and living, I can see that there is the part where I identify according to my personal identification is according to my sex organ. If I, and because I'm a female, I act like a female as my gender role in society, just as um, my mom did, my grandmother did, because they are women with a woman sex organ. So there's two parts. The physical part is the sex organ. Now there's a social part of it, which is part of cultural conditioning and social conditioning, which is the the feeling that I have inside of me that I will express as a woman in terms of my understanding of what a woman is. Let's say gentleness. Okay. So then I take on the role of the weaker sex. I didn't know I was doing it before, but now I have come into realization this is what I was doing. And um and so I encountered a lot of problems with regards to relationships in such a way that um I looked for the male or the masculine, what I call the masculine, which I associated with support, the word support, you know. So I saw males. I saw the masculine as the one supporting the women. So I got into relationships from that belief, not not realizing that I am really a being that can express as gentleness and as the word support, which means um, assisting someone in a relationship as an equal, regardless of biological sex. Me having the female sex organ and my partner having the male sex organ. And the gender roles. being a way for me to express myself as wholeness, as a redefined version of me being just female, which is really limiting for me. And now I realized that it is limiting, but before I thought that was freedom. So my definition of freedom is limited even in that sense. If we look at me, for example, um, wearing some clothes like um, pants and shirts every day, that would be also a limited way for me to express myself as. So that limitation that I saw within having a male body made me choose to be a female. But that choice is not actually real choice. That is a choice based on me winning over the gender game. So I'm really, in essence, competing with the the masculine as a feminine, not realizing that I can express myself in an expanded way by transcending the boundaries I have imposed on myself. Well, another part of this is the feeling that we have inside of us that we are. Speaking for myself, that I am feminine, and I have to accept the social role assigned to the feminine. And if the feeling comes from this internal play of the estrogen and the testosterone. The testosterone being, or having less testosterone in my body, um, the, does affect my view of what gender I will be in. Let's say, for example, I have so much hair on my chest, which I don't have. So, okay, since the feminine gender have um, smooth skin on their chest, they so then I identified as a feminine. But this is not what the gene is about. The genes is expressing characteristics from way back based on our ancestors. But I am here as that breath inside this body, so I better look at how I can change the expression of my genes where it will direct me to express as wholeness rather than a limited version of a feminine or try to manipulate myself to um, to act like a male by trying to support so many people in my life, for example, without having the money to do it, and just limited to the family, for example, or the friends. But rather than that, expand that expression of the genes to benefit all life, which is really for me bridging a healthy haven on earth, a haven where everyone is supported with the means to survive. It, as I have mentioned, that identification as the weaker sex for me brought me to a point where I didn't want um, to excel in work. I want to stay at home because that's how I saw um, the feminine. That's how I saw um, and the feminine acting out their roles as a feminine in society where I grew up. So it also requires a change in the way we see our roles to be able to bring that genes that we have to express in an expanded way, to express as our utmost potential, um, not just in the way we present ourselves through clothing, but in a way where we support all of us here in this world and create a change in the way we live. And that is to me a real expression, a real expanded expression of gender, where the supportive characteristic of the masculine coupled with the gentleness of the feminine is not just expressed in clothes and not used to actually create gender wars, but really to work on our essence as the being, expressing as the gene, where the gene pool as the the life, the tree of life, how we express ourselves as the tree of life is the essential meaning of gender for me. That we are not driving our body to abuse, where we manipulate it to be able to um, have a change in genitals. Let's say, for example, I wanted to have more um, testosterone in my body, and I wanted to to express as the masculine support. I would have to pump testosterone in my body to be able to do that, and and the consequence is the body really suffers. We just can't hear about it because our range of hearing sounds is limited. But a we have to understand that to express ourselves as in an expanded way in whichever sex or gender as per our sexual organ dictates, requires a lot of personal work, um, as we have seen how we have abused the body within that. We need to forgive ourselves for that, and also support our mind in that desire and look at what are we really rejecting within us. If I am going to look at myself, I am rejecting supporting supporting myself within getting a masculine, with as a man, to be in a relationship with, to support me. So it's a way for me to expand my wings and really investigate how I can effectively support myself and support a project called BHOE, which is Bridging a Haven on Earth, which will open the door for the expression of both gentleness and support as a feminine and masculine expression of myself. I don't really have to have a male genital to do that. I can just understand what it entails to be able to financially be productive, to be able to support my own survival and the survival of the whole by looking at how we can sort out this inequality within financial the financial area of our lives, you see, and then modify the way I enter into a relationship. By entering a relationship, and I have worked on myself, and I feel that I have really changed, that I'm not biased, that I'm not having competition with the other part of me, that I just did not understand so much. And so within that misunderstanding, I I have expressed myself in a way where I will create abuse. Will create suffering for the body, which in the long run will be my own suffering because I am the breath in this body. So then there is this flourishing of that desire to create, to stand and create and bridge a healthy haven for all, where the body will not be subjected to pain and suffering. Thank you.